Hi everyone, how are you? Hope you are well, you're doing well. Today it's another day that God has granted us, and I'm here to do another episode. And today I'm gonna divert a bit because it is sad. I feel like I have a heavy heart because I have learned many people they have a lot of burden that they are carrying in their heart, and especially those people who have lost their parent. The grief is so immense, and some are unable even to move on. And it was just the other day I met with a very random person, and we just started talking about life. And I just realized this lady, now she's a lady, she lost her mom when she was in class 7, and she was the second born, and life was not, and then the dad abandoned them, and life was not easy for them. So to be where she is today, now she's at her early 20s, and she just need guidance on how to go about life because she's afraid she's gonna mess up, and yet her younger siblings, they have not yet settled. So, and so many other cases that I can narrate. So today I have just decided to talk about grieving, especially those who have lost their parent. The pain of losing a parent, it's not easy. The pain of losing a father or a mother, it is not an easy pain to bear. And sometimes society does not understand. Some people don't understand where you are coming from or where you are going. And they just think you are just pretending in whatever situation you are. But I am here to encourage you at this hour that you are not alone. We are many. We are grieving. I lost my dad 12 years ago, and up to date, it is still a pain in my heart. When December comes, I don't know if I'll ever forget 27th of December, because that's the day my dad passed on. So every time it is end of year, he died on 27th, and then he was buried on 5th of January. So every time it is end of year, for me, it is much of sorrows. My dad was a very vibrant person, and with a very big heart. But all in all, we have to soldier on and move on. So we are discussing about grieving process. What are you going through? If you have lost a parent, where are you? And where are you supposed to be? And where will you be at the end of all this? So number one, we have 7 steps of grieving process. I'll just discuss one by one until we see the end of it. So number one, it's about shock and denial. Immediately you have been told somebody that you love has died, and especially the sudden death, not for the long-term illness or the sudden death. Although even for a long-term disease, there is no little death and a big death. Death hits people in a very different way, but there is the first reaction that you get. It is a shock. And this shock, it is an initial reaction after you receive the news. It is a defense mechanism that protects your brain or emotions not to be overwhelmed. At times, it doesn't work and people faint, space out, or black out. This occurs when you try to process the whole story or the loss. So it is a defense mechanism that is supposed to protect your brain and your emotions, not to shut down. And to an extent, if your body will not handle it well, some people, they end up in the hospital, maybe even in a coma for 2-3 days. Others, they faint and space out for a few hours until they come back into terms of what has happened. So that is the first step. And some people, they don't understand. They think that you are like pretending, or you are like, I don't know, that situation, that's where it hits the most. And then we have the second situation, that is the denial. After now you are out of shock. And many people who doesn't go for the extreme shock process. Other people go to a shock and keep quiet. Somebody has been told that bad news and they are just quiet. They sit somewhere down, they are not crying, They are not saying anything. They just want to be alone and they're just quiet. That also a symptom of shock. And then you have denial. It is also a defense mechanism. It helps a person to cope with a difficult loss. It helps in suppressing emotions and buy time to understand what has happened and slowly adjust to the news. So now it has happened. You have been told. You have shouted, you have cried, you have rolled, you have crawled, you have done everything. So what next? You go to denial mode. And that's why, and especially when you are going in this lamentation period, many family members, they are in a very difficult situation. Even making simple decision, it's hard for them because they are wondering, why are you here? You people, why have you come? You want to tell me my dad is normal? You want to tell me my mom is normal? Like, you want to tell me my brother is normal? My child is normal? You know, that denial. He's trying to, the denial process try to buy time. Yes, these are my friends, I'm with them, but the body itself and my system has not yet accepted the whole situation. So it buys somebody time. And this is one of the most dangerous stage of grief, because some people, they get stuck here for a very long time. Denial comes in and you don't want to accept the situation, so you just want to cling on that person so much, and it is so painful. And denial process, it goes through the, after you have been told the news, through the lamentation period, after the burial. And in African community, that's why it is advised, or even in other countries I have seen, it is advisable during the burial. People, when they throw, either you are throwing the sand in the gravesite, or you are throwing the flower in the coffin. That one, the release, sometimes you see people, they are holding it so much, they are not letting it go. That one shows they have not yet accepted what has happened. So they are still in the denial process. So this, it is a very symbolical process, that throwing the sand to the coffin during the burial process. And some people, they are denied that opportunity. And when you are denied that opportunity, it is very hard. And that's why you see many people during the burial, they either faint during the body viewing or during the graveside. That's where many people, they get overwhelmed with the crying and everything. So that process of either you throw a flower or you throw the sand, where the preacher says, let the sand go back to the sand and the ash, that process, it is the most painful process, but it really helps somebody to come out of that denial system. So it is good for you. When you lose a person, don't hold yourself not to go and be part of that final ceremony. It will help you to cry and also relieve some of that denial. It will break that thing that is holding you in your denial process. So during shock and denial, as stage 1, the feeling in these stages are, number 1, if there is a lot of sadness. You cannot see somebody smiling here. A lot of sadness that is coming here, that is in here. And then there is confusion. That's why I have said, these people, even during the lamentation period, you can't ask them anything. They don't know where things are. I remember when my dad passed, my mom could not even find my dad's ID or any document. So they get so much confused. There is so much discomfort. You don't want even to sleep in the same house that you are sharing with that person. Maybe it's the bed, maybe it's a bedroom. If it is your spouse who have died, you are afraid even to sleep in that bedroom, or even to sit in the couch where they were sitting. You are afraid to be where those people they were. And then there is loneliness, there is hopelessness, and there is a lot of anger in you. You don't understand why is this happening. So what is in this, for you to know somebody is in this stage, number 1, when they're given the news, they start wailing, saying, no, it can't be. Or you can hear them saying, I'm sorry, come back. I'll be a good person. I'll be a good child for you. I'll not bother you again. Those are words that they can tell you that somebody is in a shock or denial stage. And then stage number 2, it's about pain and guilt. Pain and guilt, well, we start with pain. You feel pain of the void left in your heart or in your life. The emptiness and lack of common routine anymore is unbelievable. This person, you had a routine with them. Maybe you used to call them maybe every Friday, or if it is your parents, maybe you used to call them every evening. Maybe if it is your spouse, there is this routine that you used to have. Now they are no more. What are you going to do? That's what causes the pain. When that time reaches, your brain is still ringering. It is time to make a call, it is time to do this, but you're not in a position because they are normal. So that causes a lot of pain. And then there is guilt. You feel life you has failed you, or that person has failed you in a way. You could have listened more, rectified your behavior, being more available, etc. Guilt bring regret. You start thinking, is either this person has failed me, or I'm the one who has failed them. I wish I was there when the doctor had called me. I wish I approved for certain medication. I wish I went when my dad had called me. I wish I did. I wish. That bring a lot of regrets and a lot of guilt in our heart. But it's gonna be well in our heart. And then in this stage of pain and guilt, it brings the feelings of blame. You start blaming everybody. Maybe it is your sister, maybe who was raped somewhere, maybe it is your brother, maybe it is your aunt. You just look for anyone to blame because of that. And then there is a lot of sadness and a lot of regrets, as I have said. And then you wish to turn back the clock to do things differently, but you cannot. So it is too late. They are gone. Number 3, we have anger and bargaining. Anger, people get angry at everything and everyone for about 5 months. Anger duration, it's another dangerous situation. You can imagine, since the rose until for about duration of about that, from first month up to around 6 months, you are still having that anger. You are just throwing things, you are just doing things in anger, your speaking tone has changed, and so on and so forth. And then you are angry because life has not changed. Life has now changed. You feel abandoned, lonely, empty, and unsafe. This person, the part they were playing in your life, it is no longer there. If it is a parent, where is that safety that you used to feel? Maybe your dad used to come home in the evening, late in the evening. He used to be the last person to close the door in the evening. Now who will be closing that door every evening? Now there is this routine. Maybe you used to wait for your dad to come home so that you can eat. You no longer have that routine. Sometimes you find yourself seated there just to eat again. You don't know who you are waiting for. You are all quiet because you are still thinking like somebody who will come from the way he used to come and knock that door. But now the situation has really changed. So that brings a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness. And then you start bargaining with God. The bargaining comes, you bargain with the higher power. You start telling God, if you do this, I'll do this for you. If you do this, you'll do this. The same bargaining power comes even when a person is very sick. You used to say, if you heal my parent, I'm going to go back to church. If you're going to heal my dad, I'm going to stop drinking alcohol. If you're going to, you start bargaining with the higher power, that is God himself. The feeling in this stage include, you have a lot of fear. There is fear everywhere. As I remember, we could hear footsteps everywhere at night. We could, because dad used to come most in the evening. So those footsteps, you are just hearing everywhere because you are just waiting for somebody. And then there is that anxiety. You have anxiety of like that that expectation that you're having somebody to do something that they used to do. You have that rage. Now the rage comes in because things are not being done the way they used to be. You have resentment of everyone, especially if people did something bad during the burial process or they mishandled your beloved person. That resentment never goes away. You have a lot of frustration and you are hopeless. You have that hopelessness. You have no hope. You don't see anything good or anything beautiful anymore. And then stage number 4, it's about depression. This is a very, very dangerous stage. And this a stage where many people don't understand it. Remember, anger has gone up to around 5 to 6 months. If that process is over, now you get to another deeper hole. That is depression. At this stage, friends expect you to be back to your normal life. They expect you to be good. They expect you have healed, and now you are moving on with your life. But oh, unto you. Now it's like now it has hit you again. You are just getting deeper and deeper and deeper into that hole. It is as a result of repressed anger. Now we have repressed that anger. No one who is understanding you. Maybe people have gang up on you. Maybe you're in school, results has started going down, your grades are going down. There is chaos everywhere because of the previous stage of anger. So when you that anger bring that breaking of the relationship here, there, nothing is working. Even if you're working at your workplace, at this stage 3 and stage 4, many people lose their job because the people, the employee and the people, the colleagues who are working with them, they don't understand them at this level. So they'll get to lose their job. If they had businesses, they are unable to manage the businesses. They fire all the workers. They are unable to go to get the goods to come and sell, and so on and so forth. So in this depression, so if you have suppressed that anger, you have unprocessed emotions, that's what comes into depression. So signs include lack of sleep, excessive drinking, and then mismanagement of resources. If you have left some funds, you are just misusing them right, left, and center and everywhere. You have finished your businesses, you have everything has corrupt because of this situation. And then you have an adding headaches, you have body aches everywhere, you just want to be in bed the whole day, and you don't want to be waked up by anyone. You can sleep, or you go somewhere and just find your peace and sleep the whole day. Anyway, and then you can have also issue with digestive issues, lose or gaining weight, change in the routines, you change your routine, and then you have this resistance. You resist everything. You don't want anybody to tell you what to do. So these are very dangerous stage, and it is a stage that many people don't understand each other. So woe unto us, the society. We need to be our brother's keeper. We need to be very kind to people who have lost their beloved one. This stage, it has crushed many. If they are teenagers, at this stage, it's where they are taken advantage. Because now maybe home there is no peace. People who are at home, they are not getting what they want. They go there, find some boyfriends who are not taking them seriously. They get pregnant, marriage, they get married, the marriage failed. If they have a kid, the marriage has failed, they are still in the grieving process, so this person is doomed. And then they get maybe into drugs, heavy drugs. They get into very deep holes into their life where you don't understand them, just trying to look for somebody who is gonna fill that void that has been left. This stage, so kindly, please take care of this. If you feel like you're going down to this road, look quickly for somebody that you can talk to and somebody who can help you. And then you have stage number 5 there, upward turning. Now, after you are out of depression, or if it will not go deeper, this is where a person starts to adjust to life post-roast. And then you are slowly accepting the reality and reorganizing your life. It is a short stage. But remember, this person has not yet healed. It is because maybe has undergone counseling. Maybe now he's just coming into terms, slowly by slowly. At this stage, don't rush this person. And at this stage, help them not to make radical stages. Because if they sleep on this stage, they will go back to where they were in depression and anger and the other processes again. At this stage, the feelings that include they start feeling a bit of hope. They start feeling hopeful, moment of happiness. They feel calm, a bit calm. They start having that awakenedness. Now somebody can drag themselves to work. Now they can realize, oh, my business has corrupt. Where now they can start looking for the workers and so on and so forth. And then they start feeling, now they can listen to you. In all other stages, these people, they don't listen. Actually, they don't listen to you when you tell them anything. They don't understand what you are telling them because you are not understanding their pain. So they start feeling this motivated on doing something, and also a little strength is coming in them. So at this stage, it is the right time now to start talking to them positively, encouraging them, and so on and so forth. And then we have number 6, that is reconstruction and working through. So at this stage, people have more energy and new desires to start doing things and moving forward. The feelings included here is energetic, optimistic, peace, confidence, determined, and inspired. So now the stage 5 it is a starting ground for the work of stage 6. Stage 5, you have started slowly. Now in stage 6, you are still going up and up and up. You are becoming stronger by the day. You are becoming, now you have that energy. If the business, now you go back to full force. If it is now you start reconstructing your life again, you start bringing things back together into your life. There is a bit of hope and peace and calmness. Now you are determined to move forward, and especially to honor the legacy of the people who passed. If it is your spouse, you want to carry their dream along until they meet where they wanted to be. If it is your parent, they wanted you to be educated, you're going to go back to school, you're going to do your best, and you're going to make them proud wherever they are. So this is a very crucial stage, although sometimes it comes too late, but when it comes, it is never too late for anything. Just grab it. Even if you're going to redo another year in school for you to catch up, don't shy off to do that. As long as there is finance, there are people who are supporting you, just go and do it. Don't rush right for nothing. And then the last one, it is acceptance and hope. This is the last stage in grieving process. There is still pain and sadness, but you are hopeful. Now you can plan for future. You can start a new relationship. Maybe if you had lost a spouse, now you can start dating again, and then you can reapply jobs. You can look for jobs. You are now able to pick up yourself and now move on. The feelings included here, if it is optimism, or you feel optimistic, you have hope and still hold dear, although you still hold dear the important dates such as the birthday of the person who you lost, the holidays, the routines holiday that you used to have. That one will take time. Don't rush things, because every time you try to rush a stage, you are going to trip back to where you have come from. So things that people should not forget. Number one, every person process grief differently. There is no right way to grieve. There is no right way to grieve. Your way, it is not my way. Another person's way, it is not your way. So the way you are grieving these processes, just go through your process, just understand them, and be determined to come through, to win this battle. It is a battle. And because God has not yet finished with you, don't let the battle win. You have to win the battle. Number two, denial and depression are the most dangerous stage and may take longer, or a person gets stuck there. Either way, there are some people who never get through this process. Somebody died somewhere, either you are a child and you feel you don't want any more children. Maybe it is your parent, you don't want to ever get married. Maybe it is your house, you hate everything about marriage, and so on and so forth. So in these two stages, the society need to be, or the people around you, they really need to take good care of you at these stages, because they are very crucial stages. And then the last one, there is light at the end of the tunnel, so don't give up. And there is God in heaven who hears us when we call, when you cry unto him, when you tell him, please God, I have cried enough. Enough is enough. He's going to get you out of this. It has not been easy. We have just come out from Corona period where we had this sudden death. A person is getting sick within a day, within 2 days, and they are gone. So I know in our hearts we have so many of us who are grieving. So many of us who, even we don't know where we are in life, we are trying just to survive. People see you walking on the road, but you are not there. So kindly, don't lose hope. And remember, the God that liveth, he knows the reason why. Don't give up. Don't let it all go. We shall meet with them again. Just pray to God. Pray for your soul. Live righteously. Live right, so that when Jesus will come, you'll be able to meet with him in heaven. So there is hope at the end of the tunnel. But going through that tunnel, it is not easy. You must be determined to go through that tunnel. You hear that statement? There is light at the end of the tunnel. But until you make it to the end, you'll not see the light. So you must walk through the tunnel. In the book of Psalms 23, the Lord said, David said, even though I'm walking through the valley of death, I shall not fear, because you are with me. This Lord will be with you. Even in the deepest valley, he'll be there with you. In the tallest mountain, he'll be with you. He'll not leave you. He will not abandon you. Hold on and cling on. Don't let your heart be dismayed. Don't let your heart crash, because there is life after everything that has happened. You have your own life. For them who have gone, they have lived theirs. But yours, it is still there. You ought to live it and live it to the fullest. If you have kids to take care of those kids with the fullest. Give them love and let's understand each other. Try to understand your kids if you have lost a spouse. Try to understand your parent if they have lost if your kids and your dad has or your mom has lost their spouse. Understand each other. That one will help so much. So until next time, I hope this video will be helpful for you. Let's grow together and may God bless you. Have a lovely day.